Hi, Daryl here from Brave Security. What my purpose today is really to try and assist OC managers to request a CCTV quote in a meaningful way that's going to enable you to receive meaningful quotes that are appropriate to the building. And the first thing I would say you really should do is engage an expert to get the scope of work made up. I mean, could you imagine if I said to you, can you buy me a car, please? Are you going to buy me a Ferrari? Are you going to buy me a 1920 Dodge? Are you going to buy me a four-wheel drive? What are you going to get me? And it's very much the same when you send a CCTV quote out. Can you give me a price for a CCTV system? And if you send that same quote to 3 or 4 different security companies and you get quotes for a Ferrari at this end and a 1930 Dodge at this end and a 1970 Tirana in the middle, how are you going to base your quote? Because all you can really base it on is price, and probably the 1970 Tirana is going to win. But is that going to be appropriate for you? So I would probably encourage you to maybe form a subcommittee if you can, or at least engage an expert, and we're happy to be that expert for you if you don't have anyone else. We'll do a scope of work for you. If you don't want us to quote, that's fine. If you do, we'll take the price of doing the scope of work off the job if we got the job. But anyway, you really need to define what you want so you know what you want and what you're going to get. Doesn't matter who gives you the quote. So let's just run through. We've made a bit of a list up here. We're going to run through and try and help you sort of make some notes. So at the top here, we've got create a scope of work, which we've just gone through. Be specific what you want to achieve. So what areas do you want to cover and how good do you want to cover them? We have a thing called DORI, D-O-R-I. It's detect, observe, recognize and identify. So if you just wanted to detect if somebody's there, we can have a big wide angle camera that can look at the whole car park and it will detect if there's somebody there. You won't be able to identify them, you won't be able to recognize them, you may not even be able to observe everything they do. So on the other hand, we could put a beautiful 8 megapixel camera zoomed in on the doorway and I can tell you the colour of their eyes and every vein that's broken in their eyeball. But you've got to remember, if I do that, it's going to be more expensive because this camera is only looking at that area. I can't see or hear or hear. So then you're going to need more cameras looking at there. So it's just a matter of working out what you want to achieve. We need you to indicate the following things. There's a whole list of stuff that I would love you to indicate if you want them. And so what are they? Do you want to integrate it with access control? Having your CCTV integrate with your access control can be a real time saver when it comes later on trying to find who did what, when and how. If it integrates with it, I can just go to that door and say, show me who opened it, and I can see a picture of the guy badging and coming in, so I know exactly who's done it. So that's a really big plus, and it's not that hard to do either. Do you think you might need more cameras in the future? So if you say, look, we're just going to put cameras in the car park now, later on we might put cameras on every floor level, we might want more, then tell us that now so that we can allow for it in maybe the size. It might just mean a bigger cabinet, which might be an extra $100 or something. So it helps us to design the system appropriately for you if you indicate whether you may need to add cameras later. How far back do you want to search? Do I give you one hard drive so you can only see the last 3 days? Or give you 2 hard drives, lets you maybe see the last fortnight? Or do I give you a whole pile of hard drives so you can go back 6 months? So it really depends on, if you have a building manager, for example, you may only need to go back the last week. If it's not set up to remote view and you may not, by the time someone reports their bike stolen, might be a week later, by the time the police call us, it's another week. We might not hear about an incident for 3 or 4 weeks. So you might want to think about having that storage. So every job's different. You need to work out how much storage you're going to need. Is remote viewing going to be necessary? So we think it's a great thing to be able to have remote view, especially if you've got a video management software system, a VMS. It allows us to dial in, quickly get whatever footage you want and deliver it to the police for you. We can also set up passwords that allow police to log in temporarily, like we might give them a password to log in for the next week, where they can retrieve all the footage they want for a particular incident. You might want to give people on the committee the right to sort of search stuff and help, when incidences are required to give evidence to the police. Or we might want building managers or OCs. So just indicate all this when you're asking for your quote. The next couple of items here, do you want face recognition and number plate recognition? So if you can give police face recognition type quality images, they can enter that in their database. And so quite often when you give police really crappy evidence, you might think they're not interested. Well, they just know there's nothing they can do with it. Whereas if you give them good stuff, they can put it into their face recognition software and they might be able to work out quickly who that is. Same with number plates. With a normal camera, you may, depending on light levels and all the rest of it, and how fast they were going and all this sort of stuff, you may not be able to get a number plate. Whereas, coming in and out of a car park. Whereas if you've got a specific number plate recognition camera, we nearly always get number plates. What else? And the last thing is, do you think you'll ever want any artificial intelligence? So we're using artificial intelligence more and more now, and that might be for people counting, for opening doors. If it's your face that's walking up to the door, we can open the door for you. It might be turning lights on and off when there's motion, turning air conditioning off when there's no one in the room. Lots of things now with artificial intelligence. It's getting smarter and smarter all the time. Anyway, look, I hope that helps design up a quote request that is going to deliver you a good result. So I'm Daryl from Brave Security. If you need help, email service@bravesecurity.com.au or call us on 13 000 theft. Have a good day.